This might be my favorite video so far on this channel, and the reason why is I am selling my home in Tehachapi, and I'm here to do a video walkthrough of it for you in case you're interested in learning more. If you're new to this channel, my name is Courtney Chalupa. I'm a realtor here in Tehachapi, and I'm still living here. I'm still gonna be here, but I recently had a baby, and I've been on maternity leave, and that's why I haven't uploaded here. My apologies to anyone who noticed, but I am just now getting back into the swing of things with real estate, and I decided to list my home. I moved out of here about a year ago. I've had it on Airbnb almost a year, and while it's been successful on Airbnb, it has been a lot for me to manage with a newborn and other work. So while it is incredibly bittersweet for me to list this property since it has been my favorite place I've ever lived, the views are just, they're indescribable. And the experience that I've had living here for so many years is something I just could have never had imagined or hoped for in my previous life. But I know it's time to pass it on to its new owners who are going to be able to make it even better than I tried to make it. Welcome to 29900 Greenhorn Court in Stallion Springs, which is in the Greater Tehachapi Area of California. This home is about 2 hours north of Los Angeles and about an hour away from Bakersfield and an hour away from Antelope Valley. This home is about 15 to 20 minutes from most parts of downtown Tehachapi and freeways and post office, grocery stores, all of that. Stallion Springs is a really great community. I've loved living here. There's hiking trails, there's beautiful views of Cummings Mountain, beautiful views from this house of Tejon Ranch, which is unusual. And it's just a phenomenal place with lots of wildlife, great stargazing. I love watching the moon at night. The list goes on, and I don't want to bore you with every detail, but let's jump into the video walkthrough so you can see the home. Okay, so this house is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's just over 1,300 square feet, and it's sitting on 2 acres of land. The fenced-in area, which I will share some aerial drone footage, is just over an acre of completely usable land. This area does allow horses if someone wanted to add some fencing, but I'm taking you to the front door, and I'm just gonna pass by that front door that's on the side of the house just to take you out to the back deck. Now, most of the usable land is in front of the house, so this is kind of the back of the house with the deck and the view. And this is the showstopper. This is why I bought the house. This is what takes everyone's breath away when they come to visit. There's also a lower deck that's on the property. The stairs are mangled and probably need to be replaced. The deck probably needs to be replaced, but it's down below. I'll zoom in a second, but just kind of giving you like a panorama view from the deck. So that's some of the side yard that's all fenced in, and then in the front of the house is most of the acreage that's usable. This is a unique house. It's quirky in style inside and out, which is what I love about it. And the view that you've got right here is of Tejon Ranch. It's very dark at night with almost no lights out back. And like I said, here's, I'm zooming in right here on the lower deck. I will share some footage of down there and just additional view footage over the years at the end of this video if you just want to see the sea of clouds or some snow and stuff like that. But let's go on into the house, show you around. Now, this has been an Airbnb for almost a year. There is a little bit of damage from some of my Airbnb guests that I have not resolved. But again, I'm super transparent about everything if you have any questions. So this is the entryway sunroom, and I love this room partly because it's spacious walking in. I put a couple chairs in here just to have a seating area, but there's these huge windows that immediately you can see the view from this room as well. It also provides so much nice natural light, which I love during the day. I have a little entry table right here. There's a little area to hang some coats. And overall, it's just a spacious sunroom is what I would call it. Now, my absolute favorite room in the house is my dining room. And I put in kind of a longer table. It seats 6. There's room for a larger table if someone had one. I'm just putting myself in some of these images for, context of size of these rooms, but this could be another sunroom. It doesn't have to be a dining room, but for me, this is my favorite room in the house. There's a sliding glass door on the side, which goes out to a dog run that I put in. I did put in all the fencing seen and kind of laid it out that was best for me. But these windows are just phenomenal. I wake up to this every day. These views are showstoppers, and just, again, you can see it from pretty much every angle of the house. So I'm just gonna give you a different angle of the dining room, or this is how I'm utilizing this room. You can see natural light from all angles. And I had a little bar area and a little wine area as well when I was living here. But taking you into the living room, so this is kind of an open concept house, and everything feels very open. I really wanted to open up some more things, but I just didn't get a chance to do everything on my list. Just showing you some of the high-pitched ceilings. This is an A-frame kind of chalet style house. It's got the A-frame pitch, but it also has kickouts on each side of the house. So it's not your classic A-frame that goes directly to the ground. But I really like the fact that I had some flat walls on each side, just easy to furnish. And one of the biggest selling points for me was this older stove. I don't use it all that much, but I have used it over the years, and it warms up this space so quickly. I also recently, about a year and a half ago, got an AC system. Because there's no attic space or crawl space, I got a mini split system, and there's 3 head units, one up top, one in the master bedroom, and one that I just showed you. So I'm just walking through the living area over to the primary bedroom, which is my old room. And again, it's a spacious room. I didn't have much. I'm kind of a minimalist with stuff, but there's definitely room if you wanted to add some furniture. I just utilized the closet for all of my kind of clothing needs. But there's a couple windows with blinds, and the high pitch starts going up on that side right there. So this is kind of that primary bedroom, very spacious, and I was really comfortable in here over the years. I'm also going to take you to the bathroom. This bathroom is kind of basic. I had plenty of plans to make improvements with new cabinets and a new shower and that type of stuff, but as any homeowner knows, there's always a list of things you want to make improvements on, and I made a lot of improvements, but I had to pick and choose which ones I was going to do first. Here's the washer and dryer in there. Here's the sink. I'm just going to wave at you while I film. And it's not a huge bathroom, but it definitely worked for me over the years, and it's worked great for the Airbnb guests so far. Okay, so just gonna close this shower curtain and take you back out to the living space. So this living space, again, just really has that open feel. I'm just gonna give you a different viewpoint from all the natural light from those giant windows. I'm gonna take you over to the guest room. Now this guest room is fairly small. I actually used it as an office for myself, so I didn't have a bed in here for most of the time I was living in here. But when I turned it into an Airbnb, I put this full-size bed in. It fits great. I've had no complaints from Airbnb guests, but it pretty much just fits the bed and the little side table. It does have a pretty deep closet, not a walk-in, but pretty deep, so that's nice for extra storage. So I'm going to take you out to the living space again, and there is a wall heater. This was actually the only heater that I had before I installed the AC system. The AC system also provides heat, but I still use the wall heater. I'm going to take you up the ladder. I have no issues with the ladder. I used to work up here as well and come up every day, but I do find it easier to walk up the ladder facing it when you're going up and down. But it takes you up to this huge loft area, and I really got a lot of use out of this space. Right now, it's just a futon and kind of a yoga space for Airbnb guests. But again, you can see another AC unit up here, which really helps because heat rises in a tall house like this. So this is kind of the loft area. It's actually, I think, bigger than the primary bedroom. It's just not walled off. So really nice bonus space there. And again, I'm just showing you how I go up and down the ladder. I feel very safe, but it is a little steep and it just takes a little getting used to. So I'm going to take you over to the kitchen. Again, I had big plans to make improvements to this kitchen, but you know, it was just further down on my list, and it has functioned really well for me. I cook a lot, so I've done a lot of cooking in this house, and it's worked well for me. So I'm just taking you out to the side. This is that little dog run. At night, when it was dark, didn't want the dogs to run out in the big yard, so I loved having this dog run where they could just go to the bathroom, and I didn't have to worry about them being out too long. So just walking you through the kitchen again, this stove oven is only a year old, and it's still got that open feel, still has a lot of nice natural light. And I'm gonna, basically just take you back out to the deck, show you kind of what it looks like with me out there, and then show you some additional photos of the view and the property over the years that I've taken. But this has been a fun Airbnb. I'm just happy to have had the experience and to pass it on. All the Airbnb guests have just been, so blown away by the view and the quiet, peaceful nature of this house. I really enjoy the cul-de-sac that it's on. It's not too high up. A lot of cabins in Tehachapi are higher up in elevation and steeper roads to get there and longer to get there. And this is actually only at about 4,200 elevation. So almost the same as the city of Tehachapi. Really easy to get to as far as roads. The roads are plowed and paved. So just to show you the front street side view of this house, as you can see here, a lot of the land for this is in the front of the house. There is a gate. It is all fenced on the usable section. Here's another angle from the dirt driveway. And then here's an aerial view of the fenced in property. Again, some of the property actually goes down the cliff. Okay, and I just wanted to share some video and photos over the years that I've taken. Here is one of my favorites. A few times a year, it will be a sea of clouds out from the deck. Basically, it's just life above the clouds. The clouds are below the house and it's just stunning. This is a sunset with the sea of clouds, and I just could never get enough of this. It was always just one of my favorites. Here's another angle showing some condors. So condors can be seen from the house usually a few times a year. They usually hang out for about a week at a time, and they're magnificent. They're tagged. So when they actually fly above, you can usually see the tag, and it's condors and not turkey vultures. Here I am walking down the stairs to the lower deck. So as mentioned, this would probably need to be refinished. I have walked down there a number of times just to be there, but you can see it's on a whole top of like a whole bunch of boulders, and it's beautiful down there. I had a vision to refinish this at some point, but it was definitely low on my list. But I don't have a fear of heights up here, but I'm sure some people would. And then to note, there are some bobcats that live under this deck. So they're always fun to watch. You can see one here and they're harmless. Okay, and one of my favorite times of year is springtime, basically from March to May. It's so green. The whole view is green. Now, it's not this way year round, but it definitely is pretty spectacular just to see it for those few months out of the year. Here's a picture of me and my dog in front of the house when there's some snow. I would say we have a few storms each year where there's six inches to a foot. Here's some elk in the front of the property and the side of the property. There were over 40 elk that day, and there was a little snow on the ground. So again, this is just footage from when I lived here over the years that I just kind of gathered. And the elk, I would say they come about, once a month. Sometimes they hang out for a few days. Here's a beautiful rainbow from the deck, and this is off to the west side. This is a view of Cummings Mountain from the property. One of my favorite views is of this mountain, and this is just a beautiful sunrise when I was up early one day. Absolutely love this view, and got a lot of time to play with the pups out in this yard. Okay, and just a few more clips of some elk because they're so amazing, and I got to see them so much when I lived here. Here's one that's on the property. She got in between my fence. She made it out just fine. But I was just startled at how close she was, which was really funny. And here is a bull elk just outside the fence. I never get too close to the elk, but I do like to zoom in and get some cool video of them. Here's an elk that's just crossing the little path on the cliffside. So they're pretty incredible. So that's it for this video. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to text me or email me. My contact info is below. And be sure to hit subscribe if you want to see more about Tehachapi. And be sure to thumbs up if you like this video.